Do you have any regrets on how it happened and everything that's happened since then?
I don't have any regrets with anything. I'm going to compete and play 100% hard no matter who it is, like I said, or who we're playing. No, I don't have any regrets.
Carter's world has turned upside down. Just weeks ago, she had a job, a team, and a promising future in the WNBA. Now she finds herself unwanted, unemployed, and facing the harsh reality that her career might be over for good. How did it all unravel so quickly?
Guys, it is officially official. Chennedy Carter is an unrestricted free agent in the WNBA. The Chicago Sky opt to not extend a qualifying offer to her, and right now she is on the market and is free and available to go wherever she wants. Now, guys, let's talk about this because
Carter's downfall traces back to one disastrous moment the night she took a cheap shot at Caitlin Clark on national television. Let's rewind to that game, because that's when everything started crumbling. Tensions were already high between the Chicago Sky and Indiana Fever. Clark, as always, was in command, running the offense, finding her rhythm, and frustrating defenders with her elite shot-making. But Carter, she was struggling, playing aggressively, letting frustration take over. Then, in an instant, she snapped with the ball nowhere inside.
When Tyler Marsh did the press conference, he talked about Angel Reese. He talked about Cardoso, who I think is going to be a star in the WNBA. But he did not really mention Chennedy Carter at all, and that raised a lot of eyebrows.
Carter shoved Clark hard. It wasn't a defensive play. It wasn't even a reckless foul. It was personal. The crowd gasped. The referees blew the whistle. And the entire WNBA world took notice. Because let's be real, this wasn't just any player Carter shoved. This was Caitlin Clark, the league's biggest rising star. Chicago knew it immediately. By the final buzzer, Carter had lost more than just fan support. She had put her entire career,
when she took it upon herself to put her filthy thug hands on WNBA player Caitlin Clark,
in jeopardy. The backlash was swift. Fans demanded consequences. Analysts tore her apart on national TV. And within days, the Sky made their stance crystal clear. They didn't bench her, they didn't find her, they cut her loose. No contract extension, no trade, just gone. And that's when things truly spiraled. Normally, when a talented player like Carter hits free agency, teams come calling, they ask questions, they explore possibilities. But this time, silence. Not one team reached out, not one organization even considered signing her. She wasn't just unemployed, she was untouchable. Why? Because this wasn't just about one bad moment. Carter had a history, a reputation for locker room issues, clashing with coaches and burning bridges.
Inspired between Carter and Clark.
Shove on Clark, it was simply the final straw. One WNBA executive even put it bluntly, we wouldn't touch her with a 10-foot pole. And in professional sports, once you earn that kind of reputation, it's nearly impossible to shake. But let's talk about the real reason no team wants her. It's not just about attitude, it's about who she went after. Caitlin Clark is the WNBA's most valuable asset. She's boosting TV ratings, hacking arenas, and bringing more eyes to the league than ever before. The WNBA needs her. So when Carter blatantly targeted her, it wasn't just a dirty play, it was career suicide. No executive wants a player who damages their team's image. No coach wants someone who can't.
that push right there was that right there, I believe, was the push that altered her career. And I'm telling you right now, it is not looking good for Chennedy Carter.
Control their emotions, and no franchise wants the baggage that comes with Carter. Chicago saw it, the rest of the league sees it. Carter, she never saw it coming. And if her on-court mistake wasn't bad enough, her reaction sealed her fate. After the game, Carter had a chance to own up to it, to apologize, take responsibility, and move forward. Instead, she shrugged it off, downplayed the incident, and even lied, claiming she hadn't said anything to Clark. No remorse, no accountability, just denial. And that's when the WNBA knew Carter wasn't just a problem player, she was a lost cause. Because here's the reality, talent alone doesn't get you second chances. Character matters, locker room chemistry matters, and Carter, she just proved to every team that she's not worth the risk. Even her own teammates are done with her. You'd think someone would stand by her, especially Angel Reese, who is supposed to be her closest ally. But no, Reese just unfollowed Carter on social media. And in today's world, that's not just a small move, it's a statement, a giant neon sign that screams, we're done. And when your own teammates don't want you, that's a death sentence in the WNBA, because this isn't just about one bad play, it's about an entirely deciding Carter is more trouble than she's worth. That's why she's still jobless. No team is calling, no coach is interested, even overseas teams aren't looking at her as an option. She's not just out of work, she might be out of basketball entirely. And the most brutal part, she did this to herself. No one forced her to shove Caitlin Clark. No one made her act recklessly. She made every decision that led her here. Now, while Carter is watching from the sidelines, Clark is thriving, selling out arenas, breaking records, becoming the new face of women's basketball. Carter thought she could take Clark down, but in the end, she only took herself down. And the WNBA, they don't even miss her undie. Carter is living with the consequences of her actions, and it's obvious she never saw this coming. She thought she could get away with her reckless play, shove Clark, brush it off, and move on like nothing happened, but now her career is in ruins. No team, no offers, no future in the WNBA, and the harshest truth, no one is coming to save her. Because this isn't just about one mistake, it's about a pattern of bad choices finally catching up to her. The league, the fans, even her own teammates have had enough. Let's talk about why Carter's WNBA career might be over for good. In sports, talent usually earns you second chances. Teams will overlook baggage if a player can help them win, but Carter, she's proving to be the exception. Why? Because talent isn't the only thing that matters. Character matters, locker room presence matters, team chemistry matters, and Carter, she's failed in every single category. Multiple teams have already decided she's not worth the trouble. One insider even said it plainly: she's talented, but she's not worth the headache. That's how bad it is. Carter didn't just damage her reputation, she destroyed it. At this point, her career isn't just in jeopardy, it might already be over. Some might argue that Carter deserves another shot, that it was just one bad moment. But let's be real, that's not the case. This isn't about one moment, it's about a pattern. Look at her track record. She's been labeled a problem player for years. She's already bounced around multiple teams, a massive red flag for any young player with talent. WNBA teams don't just cut good players for no reason. They do it when they realize that player is hurting the team more than helping it. And Carter, she had every chance to prove she could be professional, mature, and reliable. Instead, she did the opposite. She shoved the league's biggest star, showed zero remorse, and then acted like she did nothing wrong. That's why no one wants her now, because if a player won't take accountability, they won't change. And if they won't change, no team will waste their time. Here's where it gets even worse. Carter doesn't even have her teammate support anymore, and if there's one thing that signals the end of a career, it's when your own locker room wants nothing to do with you. Unfollowing Carter wasn't just petty drama, it was a warning sign. Players inside the Chicago Sky organization had reportedly been pushing for Carter's release even before the Clark incident. Think about that, a team desperate for talent decided they were better off without her. That speaks volumes. While Carter is sitting at home jobless and ignored, the WNBA is thriving. The league is bigger than ever, and it's all thanks to Caitlin Clark. Clark is breaking records, selling out arenas, bringing more fans to the sport. Meanwhile, Carter is on the outside looking and realizing the WNBA doesn't need her. She had talent, she had opportunities, but she threw it all away with bad decisions and an even worse attitude. Now teams are finalizing their rosters, players are getting signed, and Carter, she's not even in the conversation. Her agent has reportedly been making calls trying to get her a second chance, but the response, silence. And in professional sports, once teams stop thinking about you, stop talking about you, stop considering you an option, that's when your career is truly over. And for Carter, that moment might already be